Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Royal with Paternity University. I wanted to make a really quick video on my successes and lessons that I've learned so far in operating this business. Not everything has been peaches and cream, roses, and a walk through the park. I've had to learn a lot of lessons. So, without further ado, I'm going to go through this. As you can see, here's a quick agenda. I'm going to go through each of my successes and failures. All right. So, bus stop bench ads was a lesson I learned. So my goal was to advertise in the physical domain. Um, it is pretty cool, to see your company being advertised in real life. In the city that I live in currently, you can get up to 5 bus stop bench ads for about $375 a month. You pay them the money, they print it out, and you pay that money repeatedly, and people can see your ads in real life. So, I was thinking at the time this would be a good um, recognition play. But the thing is just that's something that you do when you have a little bit more of a marketing budget. I kind of was operating on a shoestring marketing budget, and so I stopped that after about three months or so, and decided to take that 375 and invest that into my actual Google ads. Another thing too is that I couldn't truly determine what the return on investment was because there were no people that were calling me directly from the bus stop bench ads. They weren't. They were all calling from Google. So there was really no purpose of keeping those ads going. So it's a lesson I learned. I think I'll revisit it one day. I may get a billboard or something like that one day, but that's something that you just know, hey, this is an awareness play, and this will take maybe months to years for people to recognize you as that person in the city that does this. Having just 5 won't do it. Okay, so changing my name on Google. So in Google My Business, when you set up your business, you can name your business, the actual legal business name that you have, or you can change it to something more Googleable. Originally, I had just Assurance DNA or Assurance DNA Dallas or Assurance DNA Raleigh. In July, at the end of July, I changed the names to the city plus paternity testing services. So it changed from Assurance DNA to El Paso Paternity Testing Services, or Dallas Paternity Testing Services, or North Carolina Paternity Testing Services. And as you can see, in August, I got a lot more calls. That's just for the El Paso location. In the July, it doesn't have it highlighted, but it was about 32 calls or so. It jumped up to 47 just off of changing the name. That's really not related to the ads. That's just changing the name and having that organic call traffic. Thing is, in this business, you get a lot of calls. That's what you want, is people to call in, because people just don't buy a paternity test on your website. It's not e-commerce. This is a service-based business, so people are going to call in. So changing my name on Google, that was a huge success. Advertising on podcasts. So I advertised on a few podcasts. There was an app I used called Podcorn, where you can, connect with other podcast hosts and, advertise on their podcast, which was cool. But my target audience of people who are actively searching for a paternity test, that just wasn't the avenue to reach them. The best avenue to reach them, honestly, is just having Google ads and being where they are searching for on Google. If they search on Google for paternity testing, you need to be the first company that pops up with reviews and a way to call them. Advertising on podcasts, not so much for my paternity testing business. Maybe for Paternity University, yeah, advertising on business podcasts, but not so much for people who need a paternity test. They're probably not. I may get back around to that. I may advertise on a more targeted level, such as podcast about family or maybe being single mothers or fathers or something like that. But once again, I was just trying things with marketing and seeing what stuck. And the best thing that stuck, honestly, which is Google Ads. All right, her hiring a virtual assistant. This is a major success. this is my virtual assistant here, Jennifer Giddy. She's great. And so my wife was answering most of my calls from September 2021 when she moved in with me to about June or so of 2022. She ended up getting a full-time job. And so there was just no way that she'd be able to answer the calls because she's working, and I couldn't answer them because I'm at work. So I had to get a virtual assistant, and I had to get one that was bilingual. First off, she's bilingual. She speaks English and Spanish, and it's great. And so that helps me convert Spanish speaking callers. Um, that was just a huge success because what she does is answers a lot of our calls, incoming calls. She sends out the invoices, collects payments. She follows up with clients and leads. She also coordinates when it comes to coordinating the actual paternity testing services, especially if we're outsourcing a paternity test to a collector in state or out of state. She coordinates with that collector, sending them emails, calendar invites, etc. Very seamless. She's made, she's brought in 4 figures worth of maternity testing services since she started. She started, I think, in early July, mid July, with training, and now it's getting to the point where she is going to subcontract another virtual assistant. We're bringing her on very soon. That's based in Mexico City that can answer calls when she cannot answer. So just letting you know, I mean, she's a major help. Hit her up. I mean, I think she's going to be in demand. So she may not be able to take on too many more clients with just her and the subcontractor, but I think pretty soon she will expand greatly. So that was a huge, huge, huge success. Without her, I could not operate my business. All right. Last one, cutting my marketing budget. That was a major fail. Major fail. Don't ever skimp on your marketing, like your Google Ads marketing. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, got it. You may cut some things out, such as if you're trying to, I don't know, advertise on Yelp or get into the white pages or something. You know, those things are like ridiculous. Okay. But the Google Ads, that's what brings in a lot of leads. And in May, I was being cheap, or I was either being cheap or trying to cut the budget to make room for building Gray Helix or something like that. And I was like, let me cut my marketing budget that I'm spending, you know, $500 a month on, and cut that to 250. Didn't work. Did not work. I cut the budget in half, and excuse me, I cut the budget in half, and the next month, like, my revenue was cut like in half, like, or even less than that. It was cut like down to a third. It was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do that again. So don't cut your marketing budget. Like, if you have one, stick to it. Especially if you're running Google Ads, like, don't cut your marketing budget. Don't be cheap. The the 3 things that I consistently pay for is my marketing, my virtual assistant. I pay her on time. Every time she sends her invoice, I pay her plus commissions. And the phone app that I use, Open Phone. Open Phone is a huge, huge, huge help when it comes to having a shared phone number for myself and the virtual assistant, and a shared software to answer calls and stuff like that. So those are my biggest lessons and successes there. Learn from me, learn from me for sure. And you should do fine in this business. All right. Thank y'all. Hey, if you liked it, like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you want to do. And I really appreciate it. Thanks.